name is Jimmy DaSaint. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My federal number is 52157-066. I was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. Out of my 10-year sentence, I served 9 years, from 2000 to 2009. One thing about the federal prison system, they can send you all over the country. You're not guaranteed to be in one particular spot for your whole entire bid. It depends how your points adjusting and whatnot and what's going on. So I was sent in different institutions all over the country. I did time in Atlanta Penitentiary, Schuylkill Penitentiary, Pennsylvania, Elkton, Ohio, Texarkana, Texas, Lewisburg, Oklahoma City transfer stations. It's just on MDC, Brooklyn, and New York. You know what I'm saying? So I did time all over the federal prison system. One of my experiences is the story that I'll never ever forget. It was at a basketball game between a team from Baltimore and a team from DC. And two individuals on the side arguing with each other about their cities and their team and whatnot. And we was on the basketball court earlier that day. It was a real intense game, and it was a close score and everything. And it was getting real heated. You know how basketball games is and whatnot. Anyway, two individuals, they got in a fight. A Baltimore guy and a DC guy who are already beefing with each other is rumbling. So it was stopped. And the Baltimore guy got over on the DC guy and beat him in a fair fight. And we thought it was over with. It was a fight. Somebody wins, somebody lose, you keep it moving. But before they parted ways, they actually asked each other, is it cool, is it straight? You know what I'm saying? It's over and done with, we ain't taking no farther. You know what I mean? They agreed on that, so everybody went their way. We thought it was over, you know what I mean? People went on to doing their time, you know what I mean? But later that night, maybe 11 o'clock that night, 10 o'clock, something like that, I remember laying across my bed, I'm sitting there, and just thinking, and I just heard this loud, horrific scream. The scream was so intense. It was like a yell, a scream from hell. A few feet away was the guy from DC who had a pot, some type of pan or something. What he had did was he went into the microwave room, boiled some hot steaming water with hot sauce and salt and pepper and all kind of other ingredients and stuff like that. He boiled it for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. And while the individual was asleep, he snuck and he went over to the guy's bed and he threw the whole pot of boiling water on his face while he was sleeping. And I just heard this loud, horrific scream. And the scream was like really, really intense, like something you hear from a movie. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, the lights pop on and people jumping up out their beds and stuff, looking around. And this guy, the guy from Baltimore who had won the fight earlier, he's running down the hallway holding his face like this. Literally holding his face. His face actually was melted off of his skin. It was like the craziest sight that you can ever imagine. I mean, literally like a movie. And I'm like, wow. And you see pieces of his face falling as he's running and screaming and hollering and all this kind of stuff. And all I remember is this dude running down the halls and his face melted. Literally melted. Like he's holding his face like this to the side while his face is in his hand. And there's pieces of his skin, fragments and shit like that, all on the floor, and he running screaming. The CO's running through the hall and get down on the ground, everybody get down on the ground. And standing not too far from the dude's bed was the guy that he was fighting earlier. This just show you the realities of prison life. Like, you really can't trust nobody, you really can't go to sleep. You're sleeping with your knife, your shank, you know what I mean? But anyway, this dude is crazy because all that day he thought about that fight he lost, and he had plotted this, and that was just one of the most horrific things I've ever seen in my time in federal prison. Just to see this guy face literally off, and it was crazy. It was just a real crazy experience. The guy who got his face melted, he had, I believe, like a 10-year sentence, and I think they got rid of some of his time and gave him some money and everything. They transferred him. you know, it don't matter how much money they give you or whatever, his face still melted and he'll never look the same. So that was fucked up. And the guy who did it, he got more time added to his sentence, and that was the end of it. You know, these is just some of the daily stories that go on in the federal prison system that I was involved in. Man, I never forget that story because it always stuck in my mind, in my memory bank, how real prison life was, and how you can't really trust nobody. I mean, really nobody your friend, because you can be crossed by your friend any moment. And just that scene of that guy holding his face, and you see all this blood and meat and just skin, and just, that was some of the realest shit I ever seen in my life. And just the thought of it right now, sitting here thinking about it, bringing back those memories when I was like, God, wow. This is Jimmy DaSaint. I'm from Philadelphia, PA. You're watching Prison X, and this is my story.